Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us for our forecast right through until Saturday. And by the way, just a programming note, by the end of this afternoon or this evening, we'll have our next Climate Watch update, which will cover the rest of the month of May and the start of winter. We'll be going through the month of June as well, and even actually right through until the middle part of winter. So don't forget to check that out later today, Climate Watch. But let's get into the Weather Watch video for this week. And we've got mild northeasterly winds blowing in many places, or even subtropical northerlies. So the subtropical portion is up here, and that is being fed down into parts of the South Island. If you're not getting that, you're still getting a mild northerly wind, which is coming down across you for the next day or two. Let's take a look at the rainfall for the next 5 days ahead. This is the working week ahead. And as you can see, not a lot for the North Island. Dark blue into the green, that's just a few showers, caught up in easterly winds. So you might get 5 millimeters or so over the next few days, and maybe some of you might get 5 to 10 if you're lucky. But the more likely chance of those heavier falls might be along the eastern side of the North Island. These are mostly through the hills and ranges. The South Island, though, the real rainmaker over on the west coast, where the pink and blue colouring, sort of around 50 to 90 millimeters of rain expected over the coming week. And that's of a burst of rain right now and another burst of rain later into the week. Snowfall, again, for the next 5 days, the next working week. A little bit on Mount Ruapehu, a little bit on the northern parts of the mountains, but really the bulk of the snow is from around about Mount Cook down to Queenstown area. Up in the mountains, it's not necessarily getting very low down. And the totals are not huge, mostly in those blues, just talking 4 or 5 centimeters. But the areas with the pinks and the reds, that's getting you more around the 15, in fact, even up to 50 centimeters. Just on the tops of the mountains, but a sign we've got some snow coming our way. So this is the forecast through till Saturday. Here is Tuesday's setup. We've got this very weak low for the next couple more days up around Norfolk Island and just hovering north of Northland. Now the central air pressure is 1010. 1010 hectopascals. That's barely even a low. So it's just providing an area of showers. That's really about all we've got. High pressure out near Sydney, extending out across the South Island. So your overnight lows might still be a little cool, but the daytime highs are still fairly pleasant. On Wednesday, same story. More showers, northeasterly showers for the north of the country. So it'll be warmer than average by night, especially. And fairly mild days, although you might still have to put the heaters on or the heat pumps on just to get the chill off the air. And the South Island, the winds are much lighter. A little bit of wet weather on the west coast, but pretty isolated. Fairly dry elsewhere. Into Thursday, now the rain clouds do build along the west coast with some heavy falls and a surge of colder air coming in later, so that's why we'll see some of those snowfall levels a bit heavier. It'll be after that burst of rain on Thursday. Before that rain, warmer northwest winds are blowing through. It'll be a breezy day. And again in the north, you've still got those easterlies turning northeast in some areas, still bringing in showers and drizzle patches and plenty of cloud. But the totals, as we just saw, will not be accumulating a huge amount, but it will feel like perhaps a bit of a cloudy, wet week. We get to the end of the week on Friday, and as I say, it gets colder around the South Island. The winds, while they are sort of coming out of Australia around that enormous high, they're spending a lot of time in the Southern Ocean, longer, darker hours the further south you go. So as that comes in on Friday, it may not be overly warm around the southern and western parts of the South Island. Meanwhile, the rain moves into the North Island, and it's very narrow, very patchy. In fact, I don't even really want to call it rain. I feel like it's more just showers, but you've got that chance on Friday. And by Saturday, those showers get pushed further and further northwards. Meanwhile, high pressure grows in the Tasman and stretches back towards us. In fact, it goes all the way from about the Chatham Islands, which are here, all the way past Alice Springs. So that is a huge distance, an enormous high rolling on in. And the long range forecast suggests it'll track across with more easterlies and showers up here in the northern part of our map. Once again, just a reminder, if you do want that long range forecast for the rest of this month and most of June, and probably even going into July, I think we've got a quarter yearly update we can give you via IBM. So check out that video. It'll be out later today, Monday, probably by this evening at the latest, and it'll be called Climate Watch. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be back again tomorrow, Tuesday, with your latest weather forecast.